what's going on with the market. Right now, the market's up for the fourth straight week, which is pretty awesome. And I'm also going to talk to you about something that I read today about the Turo app. A lot of you are looking to make money on Turo by renting out your cars. There are a couple of things I want to warn you about with that. So we're going to talk about all these things. So get comfortable, buckle up your seatbelt. We're going to get started on the Black Financial Channel right now. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'm your friendly neighborhood finance professor. On the Black Financial Channel, we talk about Black wealth and Black economics every single day, sometimes as much as 10 times a day, under one condition. The condition is that we are Black first. Black first means that we put our community at the top of our priority list. Black first means that we educate our kids. Black first means that we want our community to do well. Black first means that we love Black men, love Black women, and want to see our people succeed, and will make our people the most financially intelligent group of people on the planet. If you agree with that goal, if you agree with that philosophy, put a hashtag B and the number one in the chat, hashtag B1. Also shout out your city. Hey, Dennis and Michelle and Denise and Mr. Global Grind. Good to see you. Petra, Kevin Johnson, Andre, Carol. Good to see you. A lot of you, I recognize your names because you were actually in our stock options income class last night. We had a lot of fun. And anybody who still wants to join can go to drboyceprime.com. And we spent 2 hours last night just literally breaking down all the different income generating opportunities that exist with stock options. There's a lot of money out there being made. I want you to learn how to go get it. All right, guys. So the stock market right now, how many of you have noticed that the stock market is doing well? Give me a yes or no if you've been making money from this stock market increase. It's been doing really well. And I'm gonna read some of this to you, and then and in addition to that, I want to talk about something I read today about the Turo app. The Turo app is an app that apparently it allows for peer-to-peer car sharing or peer-to-peer car rental, where you can rent out your car to other people. I was thinking about using Turo because my wife and I, we just paid off one of our cars. I'll be honest, we like nice cars, right? So we have she has an Audi and I have an Infiniti, and they both will be defined as luxury cars. All right, so the reason I share that is not because I'm stunting, flossing, bragging, none of that. I share that because I don't want you to think that because I talk to you guys about building wealth and keeping your money, that I believe you should be shunned or shamed for buying nice stuff. Right. So that Coach purse is okay. My wife has a Coach purse. That Toomey bag, that's fine. That Gucci, that's okay. It's all okay as long as you handle your business first. So when I talk about the rappers, spreading just bad consumption habits to Black people, I'm not talking about the fact that Gucci bags are the devil. I'm talking about the fact that you're buying the Gucci bag before you actually put money aside for your kids. Like, you don't understand, with things like the $5 a day investing plan, which you can get it at blackmoneyminute.com. I'll put the URL on the screen. Things like that. That's a free ebook, by the way. It doesn't cost you anything. Things like that allow you to do things like retire your children. You can literally retire your kids by investing for them right now. Like this idea that you have to work to eat or you have to eventually work for somebody to make money is BS. That's not true. That's not true. People that have to work are the people whose parents didn't make a plan for them. So you end up becoming like an orphan. You become a financial orphan where you're out here in the world scrapping and scraping and begging anybody to give you a nickel. Your kids should not be in that position. You can get them out of that position, but you must believe that you have the power to do that. So go to blackmoneyminute.com. I show you very easily how the amount of money that you spend on fast food, if you invested the same amount of money you spend on fast food, and you did that for your child from the time that they're little, your child's going to have enough money where if they manage their money properly, they'll never have to work again for anybody. That's really true. I know it sounds crazy. I know you don't believe it, but I'm a finance professor. I know the mathematics. I taught math at the University of Kentucky. The math checks out. It's easy to do. It's very straightforward. I can show you how. The book is free. You ain't got no excuse. I don't need you to pay no money for this. I just need you to pay attention. Okay, because I don't want you to get caught with your pants down years later. I don't want your kids out here getting exploited because somebody didn't make a plan for them. My goal is to have 90% of you or more investing for your family. All right. So give me a yes in the chat. Give me a verbal confirmation that you heard what I'm saying so we can move on. I need this. This is what I need. Right? We all need different things. I need the verbal confirmation to know that we're not wasting our time, that we're really getting this done, that we're really moving forward. I'm all about action. I ain't about all this chit chat and talk. I'm about action. Okay. So give me a yes in the chat. If you're going to make that move, start investing for your kids, put them ahead of the curve, because these white folks should not be beating down your kids, because your kids are special. Your kids are powerful. Your kids are unique, but a powerful person must be put in a position organization to be powerful. I don't care if you play basketball as well as Michael Jordan. He can't win games if he ain't got good teammates. You are your child's teammate. Michael Jordan could not win a championship until he got Scottie Pippen, and he got guys on the inside. He got shooters like Steve Kerr. He needed good teammates. He needed good sneakers. He needed a good game plan. Without a game plan, without sneakers, without teammates, Jordan couldn't have won anything. So some of your kids are Michael Jordans, but you're throwing them out in the NBA finals with no shoes on and no teammates and no game plan. And then you're like, well, why are we always losing? Well, because you don't have an organization. Structure, people. Structure is about being on code. Being on code means being on code in terms of wealth. That's what I want for you. Okay. So anyway, let me move on. Do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Share, subscribe if you haven't done that yet. All right. So let's talk about this stock market right now and what's going on with this thing. Right now, the stocks, they rose again today. They rose. The Dow Jones Industrial Average went up another 250 points. The market is going up, 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 up. There's a lot of indicator from my research that this is the real thing, that this, it could be what they call a bear market rally. It could be something where the market's just kind of, moving up a little bit, maybe because people are covering their short sales, which I won't talk about what that means, but it's a temporary thing. It could be because we're just excited about these inflation numbers, but I believe that this could be the real thing. And I definitely believe that over the next 2 to 3 years, it's going to be the real thing. I believe that if you are a 2 to 3 year investor, you're going to be very, very happy if you're making your moves right now and just putting even your spare change into the market. Even if you have an extra $100 and you're dropping that in there and you're buying some stock, chances are you'll be glad you did it. Just as long as you're buying quality assets and quality companies, S&P 500 type companies, things like that. So here's what it says here on CNBC that says stocks rose on Friday, putting the S&P 500 on track for its fourth positive week in a row, and on the hope that inflation is peaking. The Dow Jones Industrial Average added 202 points, or about 0.6%. The S&P is up 2.54% on the week. It is on track for its longest weekly winning streak since November 2021. So that's not really that long, though. That's 9 months, but still, the market's been pretty dark for the last several months. So now the sun's coming out. And so if you've been consistently investing during the dark period, this is where the payoff occurs. This is where you start making money back for all the sacrifices that you've been making, for the consistency that you've had. Those of you that didn't run away from the market when the market was down, you're going to get rewarded for that. If you were buying the dip, this is where buying the dip pays off. The averages have been boosted by positive news on the inflation front. So the inflation numbers have been good. That's why the prices are moving up. As I mentioned to you guys a couple weeks ago, if there's any good news on inflation, even if it doesn't mean a whole lot, the market's just anticipating, it's waiting for some good news, any piece of good news. And so it says the consumer price index was flat from June to July, thanks in large part to falling gas prices, which lowered headline inflation. The producer price increase showed a surprise decline. So producers, the people that are making products, are paying less to make those products. That's one component of inflation that's starting to go down. The consumer price index, which reflects what you pay as a consumer for things, that's going down, mainly because the price of gas is going down. This week's moves have extended a market rally off its mid-June lows. As of midday Friday, the S&P 500 is up 15.5% since the low. The positive news has bolstered investor confidence, so investors are more confident, leading some to believe that the recent gains are more than a typical bear market rally. Quote, "We are not arguing that the market will make new highs this year. We are more in the trading range camp, but we would not be surprised to see a run toward the highs as inflation eases and the Fed slows the pace of rate hikes." So what does that mean? That means that they believe inflation is going to start cooling off. As inflation cools off, your prices will go up. They also believe that as inflation starts to cool off, the Fed is going to slow down a little bit, because right now the Fed is trying to break the back of inflation by increasing interest rates. And it basically, which is almost like, if you think your car is going to crash, you're driving down the freeway going 90 miles an hour. You think the car might crash, so you start hitting on the brakes, and you hit the brakes, but you don't hit the brakes forever. You don't want the car to stop completely. You just need the car to slow down enough that when you go around that curve, you're not going to lose control. So if you go from 90, then you drop to 80, then you drop to 70. Well, maybe dropping to 70 is enough. Or maybe you get to 65 and you say, okay, now I can take my foot off the brake. So the question is, when is the Fed going to take its foot off the brake? When is the Fed going to stop slowing down the economy by increasing interest rates and allowing the economy to continue to roar? You have a really strong economy for investors anyway. It's not the best economy for workers. That's why I tell you guys, you can't get rich from working for other people. Workers' wages are not what they're supposed to be. The wealthy people and Republicans and corporations have done a really crazy job. I'm not even gonna say a good job because it's not a good thing, but they've done one hell of a job of busting up unions, making it difficult for workers to get the wage increases they deserve. It ain't right. I don't like it, but that's the world you live in, and that's why I want you to be an investor. Okay, so do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, share, subscribe, and I'm going to share the link or the URL of the brother that's sponsoring today's podcast, jabnshop.com. And just so you know, if you want to have me shout you out on our platform, we have over 1 million subscribers. We reach 1 million Black people a week. Feel free to go to drboycefinance.com. So jbnshop.com. It looks like it's a company run by Brian Blackman. And Brian says JABN is a brand logo of apparel with inspiring phrases to promote empowerment and mental well-being and awareness. Find out what the acronym stands for and get one free item of your choice. No purchase necessary. For a limited time, apparel with a purpose. Go to jbnshop.com. Find the joy of you. Okay, so I like that a lot. So jabnshop.com is the Black-owned business that's sponsored today's conversation. If you'd like to, shout out your platform, your YouTube channel, your business, whatever the case may be, and get some followers or some support for your business, just go to drboycefinance.com and you can buy a shout out. You take care of us, we'll take care of you. All right, so the other thing that's going on, I saw this interesting article. This is just a side note in terms of making money, and this really intrigued me this morning. There was a whole thing with this eToro, Turo app. Anybody heard of Turo? Turo is this app that allows you to rent your car out to other people. Let me know if you've heard of Turo, if you've ever used it, or if you make money from Turo. So I saw this story today, and it was crazy. And I don't know how much of this is propaganda, because a lot of times, when you see something that's like a competitor to a traditional model, you see a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt, aka FUD, created by the industry to make people not want to do it. So I didn't know if this was FUD or if this was real stuff or what. But anyway, there was this Black couple that I saw on MSNBC. You know how it is when we're watching stuff. We see Black people. It's really interesting to see. And so I'm wondering, like, what did they go through? And so there's this brother, and he had a shirt on that said Georgetown Law. So I assume he went to law school. And he literally said something like, he said that when they rented their car out, and somebody took their car and just chose not to give it back. They just decided they were going to keep their car. And I said, how can somebody just keep your car? And he ended up having to go to the person's house, him and his wife, and they had to steal their car back. So they literally had to go and steal their car back, which was crazy. And I said, that's dangerous. Like, you can get shot that way. And apparently, I don't know how widespread this is, but this got my attention because I had thought about renting one of our cars on Turo. I told you guys we have we have the two nice cars, and one of them we just paid off, and we were really happy about it. I like to pay my cars off as fast as I can, and we don't overspend. We could probably afford more, but we don't need all that. And so so when the car got paid off, I was like, hey babe, what are we gonna do with the car? We don't even use both cars. Why don't we rent one out? And then I saw this video, and I'm like, crap, I don't want to have to go roll up in somebody's driveway and be like the repo man, and because again, people get shot and killed over stuff like that. And so what they were talking about was that these cars, some of them, not all of them, and this is not a thing against Turo, but basically there are some cars that get stolen, either where people just take them, they drive them away, or they take the cars and use them to smuggle people across the border. So apparently the cartels are using. Now I don't know if they're specifically targeting Turo cars or not. Or maybe they're doing the same thing with Hertz cars and Avis and all that. But just in case you were thinking about making money from one of these apps, I would do research on how to really protect your car so you don't have to run up in there stealing your own car back and risking all the consequences that come with that, or losing your car altogether, having somebody damage it. So that really actually slowed me down a little bit, because I think Turo is just this terrible app. But again, because I told you guys why I don't even enjoy necessarily being a landlord. Like I like owning property, but landlord stuff is not fun for me. So I do things like sell stock options to make my money because it's truly passive income. To me, passive income is income that you make without working. I don't have to work when I make my money from selling stock options. I do have to work when I make money as a landlord. Okay. So anyway, let me do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. And by the way, if you're watching, I want to give a quick warning. There are typically scammers in my chat somewhere that are asking you to DM them or inviting you to join their little crypto clubs and all these other things they have going on. Please ignore that. Some of them pretend to be me. Like I see a guy named David Warner in on the Facebook thing, and he's literally hitting up every single person in the chat and saying, if you're interested in joining my crypto program, DM me. And he's literally messaging every single person. I tried to block him out. I can't, for some reason, I can't block him out, but I just want to, so I'll just smoke him out and let you all know that if you see somebody in there that's inviting you to give them money or buy into some crazy investment and they're DMing you, that is not me. I have to warn you because literally my friends are getting messages like this and they're coming back to me and telling me that people are invited. They're telling them that there's some fake Boyce Watkins saying, if you give me $1,000, then you can make $10,000 in my crypto scam or whatever. So be very careful. Don't let that happen to you. So I'm going to mention this repeatedly so that hopefully nobody gets taken. All right. So do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe if you haven't done it yet. I'm going to jump back in and tell you a little bit more about what I'm seeing with this market right now. And so with this market, and I mentioned yesterday on our video chat a couple stocks that I really like. I can't remember the names of the stocks. I think one of them was like AVC. I forget the names of because I'm always picking stocks out and I just buy them and then I move on. But AVC something. So if you look up the ticker symbol AVC, that's a stock that I really like. This is not investment advice, but this is one that I'm digging into. Right now, I'm looking at some other little headlines. Peloton is cutting 780 jobs, closing stores, and hiking prices. So that's an interesting story because Peloton did something. They did the extreme version of what Amazon kind of did. Amazon, Peloton, and a lot of companies, they made the mistake of thinking that the pandemic was going to last forever. They really thought the pandemic was just going to go on, that the excessive demand that comes from people that are, that are sitting at home, looking for something to do, that excessive demand is literally going to just be around forever. And it's just not, right? And so Amazon overspent. They have too much capacity. They just bought all these factories and hired all these people. So now Amazon's scaling back from that. But because Amazon's managed so well and they're so good at this, I believe they're going to recover and do well. So I'm stocking up on Amazon stock. And that's a long-term investment. That's a company that I just really believe in. I really like the way they do things. I think they're going to be fine. Peloton, on the other hand, is a freaking mess. I mean, I don't know who the hell told them that people are going to be buying those damn expensive, overpriced electric bikes forever. But they literally they spent maybe $400 million on a factory that they're not even going to use. They're not even going to use it. They're selling it before it's done. The construction isn't even complete, and they're already selling it. So Peloton, I wouldn't invest in that stock. But then again, the stock's been beaten up so bad that if the company survives, maybe it could end up becoming a good investment. I have no idea. But I wouldn't mess with a company like that. So there's some other things happening right now. I'm going to check back in with you guys a little bit later. When I see things, I'll share those things. And so I want to say thank you. It was fun hanging out with you. GTBIF. Yes. GTBIF, that was a cannabis company. That's another ticker symbol that we recommended yesterday. Well, not recommended. It's one I mentioned. It's not investment advice. I want to make sure I'm clear about that. But I did buy shares of GTBIF. Now, GTBIF is an over-the-counter stock. So over-the-counter means you probably can't buy it on your Robinhood or your Stash or your Acorns, but you can buy it on like E-Trade or Ameritrade or something like that. I believe cannabis long-term is going to be a good investment. I think cannabis as an industry is going to do well eventually. So pandemic still exists. Coronavirus is not going anywhere. Yeah, but I think the COVID is it ain't the thing that it used to be. It used to scare the hell out of people and people get all, like upset about it and scared to death of it. I've had it. I mean, how many of you have had the virus? Give me a yes in the chat if you are a survivor of the virus that everyone thought was going to kill you. Give me a yes in the chat if you survived it or if you had it in your house. I think we probably had it in our house twice. I really think we got it early and didn't even know what it was. We just all got real sick and then got better, and that was it. So yeah, right. So I see a lot of yeses, and Nico and Kimberly and Anthony, and I'm glad you made it, because I know some people didn't. Right? We have to acknowledge that too. That's that's a fact, right? So we're not belittling what it is, acting like it doesn't exist, or acting like it's not something you want to protect yourself from. But people just aren't scared the way they were before. The only people that stay scared like that, honestly, are maybe the hypochondriacs, who were kind of like, I told you so. I told you these viruses are all going to kill us. And or hypochondriacs and germaphobes. Those are the groups of people, I think, that unfortunately this was like a realization of their worst nightmare. And in a way, it's like living in Chicago where you're obsessed with gun violence. Like, Chicago has a lot of gun violence, but you can't live in Chicago and be obsessed with gun violence, because most of the time in Chicago, I've been here for a decade now, and I'm here all the time, and I'm still here. So I think in general, it's like, yeah, stuff is out there. And in fact, here's the thing that scares me. It's not what I know that bothers me. And it's not even what I know I don't know. It's what I don't know that I don't know. Right? For all I know, Vladimir Putin could be loading up his index finger to push a button for a nuclear bomb that's going to sail across the sky, some hypersonic missile that we can't detect, that's going to hit a major city and change our lives forever. Literally vaporize a whole city and change our lives forever. Life as we know it is not the same. I think about these kinds of things, right? So there are things out there that really probably should scare us. There are viruses that are out there that we don't know about. There are plans and conspiracies that are out there. I believe those things do exist. So ultimately, I think you just got to live your life. You got to live your life, keep making your investments. The biggest investment I want to remind you to make is the one in yourself and the one in your kids. Invest in your family. That's all you can do. Control what you can control. The rest, you honestly have to leave to God or the universe or whatever it is you believe in. All right. So anyway, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. And I want to say thank you to jbnshop.com for sponsoring the podcast today. JBN Shop is a company started by, it looks like, Brian Blackman, and JBN is a brand logo of apparel with inspiring phrases to promote empowerment and mental well-being and awareness. So you want to guess what the acronym is and get one free item of your choice. No purchase necessary for a limited time. So go to jbnshop.com. Everybody take a second to go support that Black-owned business. Help that brother go make some money. I want to see him succeed. If you want me to shout you out, just go to drboycefinance.com. That's drboycefinance.com. And also don't forget, we have financial flashcards for children that you can feel free to take a look at if you want to educate your kids about wealth. That's at financialflashcards.com. All right, guys, I'm going to check back in with you a little bit later. Right now, I'm going to take my kids to the go-kart track so we can have some fun today before our oldest goes back to college. So I will talk to you soon, and please have a wonderful day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.